Hello, Barendipitous here. Um, it happened. We are getting a graphic novel for Brawlhalla. This is officially made, sanctioned by the developers and everything. Sorry, my hair is doing something weird. This is amazing. I'm going. So in this video, I'm going to go over the Nick's graphic novel trailer and go over frame by frame because there's lots of little details that I think might give us some hints about what's to come in this story. First of all, though, I wanted to go over like the very basic details of it, and then I'm gonna go over the trailer. All right, and just like a couple other like little things. First of all, we have this. We have this announcement right. This is the information I was able to find on the official Dark Horse website. Dark Horse Comics is the going to be the publisher of this. You may recognize Dark Horse as the publisher of Hellboy, American Gods, and also if you've heard of Hyrule Historia or like those big Legend of Zelda like reference books, like encyclopedia like books. Dark Horse made those. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal. This is really cool. So here we go. Brawlhalla Tales, Nick's TPB. I'm not entirely sure what that means. That might be a graphic novel term or something. But anyway, Nyx, a freelance angel of death and the finest reaper of the underworld, misses her mark at the hands of a rogue Valkyrie. And she never misses. Nyx never misses. She traveled across the 9 realms to Valhalla to reclaim her bounty, but the afterworld is not as she expected. Nyx discovers strange enemies, stranger friends, and tougher fights than she ever imagined. Now, begrudgingly teamed up with an unlikely partner, Nyx will need to win Odin's Tournament of Heroes if she wants to keep her job, and more importantly, her soul. A fun, action-packed graphic novel that will delight both longtime fans, like myself, and newcomers alike, immersing them in the vibrant world of Brawlhalla, uniquely brought to life in a comic book format for the first time by the creators of the game, with writing and narrative guidance from Brawlhalla co-creator Matt Woomer, art by game illustrator R.J. Jost. This is a legendary story you won't want to miss. And the cover itself has R.J. Jost, Matt Woomer, rockin' Cricianil, and Lucas Gattoni. Apologies for butchering those names, but Roshan is the colorist and Lucas is the letterer. There's some information here that might be a little harder to read, but it says publication date June 17th, 2025. So we have about 7-ish months to wait. It's going to be a little bit, but that's all right. The format, full color, 112 pages. TPB, actually, let me briefly look that up. What does that mean exactly? Trade paperback. Okay. Yeah. So basically it means it's going to be a paperback kind of thing. Oops. I'll get to that in a moment. So yeah, paperback's not going to be, it's like a normal, what you imagine it like a normal comic book graphic novel kind of thing, right? It sounds like. Price is going to be $20 US, age range 10 and up. Okay, excellent. And then, of course, we have this really awesome piece of art here. All right, I'll go back to this after watching the trailer. Obviously, the first things you notice, Brawlhalla Tales. Okay, so that's the name of, like, that could be the name of a series. And then specifically, this is about Nyx. So we have Bryn, we have Cross, we have Valhalla, we have Nyx on some kind of, like, death horse sidekick. And, yeah. So here's the trailer. Just gonna play through the whole thing once. Not gonna have sound. It was just music in the background. There wasn't any like speaking or anything. Just gonna sort of like, again, you can see this on the official Brawlhalla YouTube channel. There, but I always like to kind of show everything in context first before going frame by frame, looking at the different things. Because like I said, yeah, so the first thing I noticed about this, the art style is something else. Like more work was definitely put into this than most, more effort was put into this than time and effort than most Brawlhalla trailers. It's possible, I think, it's possible that Blue Mammoth Games worked with other like animators outside of the company to work on this because so most trailers are done in-house fully by their own art and animation team, but like the 2020 trailer was done with another animation studio called Double Plus Productions, and so it looks like they may have worked with somebody else for this. There's more of like a gritty art style, so maybe Dark Horse, maybe they worked with Dark Horse a little bit. Actually, hold on, I'm curious if there's anything about the anything in the credits here about the animation. I don't see anything. Okay, that's fine. The description is basically the same as you see in the Brawlhalla.com/graphic novel. You see that information there, right? That's where you find it. All right, let's go over this trailer bit by bit, shall we? So first, I have to assume this is like Blue Mammoth Games, like Office or whatever. One of the illustrators. I'm kind of getting a close-up look into, because the graphic novel is coming out in June of 2025. I'm guessing this is kind of like where they're at now. They're probably like deep in the artwork phase of it. My assumption is that the story and like the storyboarding has all been planned out. And they're basically like they're going through all of the like the story, like they probably figured out the story by now, and they're basically like going through the process of getting all the art taken care of. So we see like this art here of this arena type thing, and then it comes to life in the trailer itself. So yeah, we got smoke here, obviously. All right, here is that arena. All right, so this is a bit different, isn't it? This is not exactly what we're used to. This is more of a kind of like a rough gladiatorial arena. Looks like maybe some kind of cave or mine shaft or something. Maybe this is in the realm of the dwarves or whatever. Or maybe this is just one of the many arenas that Brawlhalla has. I think it probably is connected to Brawlhalla because what we have here in the commentators box, we have Thor and Kor up here, which is kind of fun. I don't recognize any of these characters up here. These are probably just like spectators in special boxes or whatever. But yeah, so we have this reveal of this really cool like mine shaft-ish kind of looking place, right? With like some like cannonballs or whatever the heck that is. It's like a bunch of spectators in the stands. And so here we have, I believe, yeah, this is Bryn and, oh yeah, this is fun. So Bryn and Nyx are being dropped off by these Valk robot things, these sidekicks. That tells me one thing. The world that this, so usually when it comes to like when you adapt something from one medium to another, you don't always use the same exact world. Sometimes things change, and I don't know what the canonicity of this graphic novel will be. I'm kind of assuming it will be canon. But this is encouraging because this kind of shows. Sorry, my voice has been off and on the past couple of weeks. The fact that sidekicks are dropping people off here, just like in the game, this shows me that I think this is meant to be the game. This is meant to be the world that we are playing in the game, the actual thing, right? So that is encouraging. That's cool. We have Bryn here. Clearly, she looks kind of like, relaxed and confident. Clearly, she knows what she's doing. Nyx here, maybe not so much. I think Nyx seems to be a bit. If you look more closely here, she doesn't look too happy. I think maybe she's a bit out of her element here. Bryn's kind of looking over at Nyx. Looks like they're partners in this. So I think this still looks like a situation where Bryn is like, "Come on, Nyx, I'll show you the ropes." And Nyx is like, "Okay, I guess I have to do this for whatever reason." The announcement website. Oh, sorry. It talks about how Nyx makes an unlikely friend, or like an unlikely ally, or something. I think that ally is Bryn. I think Nyx, like, she's trying. So Nyx is like trying to follow a quarry that she missed as a Reaper, and it's following that quarry to Brawlhalla. And it could be that Bryn maybe maybe it's Bryn's fault that Nyx missed it, or maybe one of Bryn's fellow Valkyries. It sounds like. But yeah, Nyx doesn't look too pleased to be here. Here we have the spectators. Okay, this is cool. I did not know. I thought it was just like a bunch of random like people, but no. Vivi is here. Imugi is here. I don't recognize anybody else. I don't think. These always kind of look like normal like fans. We have a Caspian fan, a Bryn fan. We got Nash back here. Fate here. Oh yeah, we got Tezca here. That's cool. I can't quite read what's said back there. But yeah, this looks like just a stage or a map that we just haven't seen before. But it does seem to be the like what we recognize as just legends duking it out in Brawlhalla, right? This is the cauldron above the cauldron chandelier thing above the stadium. Here we got Nash jumping in. Nash and Caspian. So I gotta say, here's another thing that's very encouraging to me. Like I was never worried about this, but this just kind of confirms all the more. Just the way that these two characters are entering in. This is exactly how they would enter. This is consistent with their characters as we know them. Nash is just this caveman, just like leaping in, like all like primal fury. And Caspian, the show-off master thief, he is doing some twirls. Look at that. Look at that, like, you know, look at those 10-point twirls that he's doing. Okay, let's actually just like show the whole thing. Like, yep, look at that. And he just like sticks the landing right there. And Nash just kind of like, fight, right? That's just wonderful. Like, I just, that's fantastic. Yeah, these two look excited to fight. Not sure where those rose petals. That's so funny. These rose petals are falling down as Caspian is falling down. So somewhere off camera, Caspian had must have had some like magic trick type thing. Like maybe he had rose petals in his hand. Just like he tosses them right here and then has a rose in his hand. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Oh, just the little details, man. It's fantastic. Like even the little shimmery kind of, little details. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, so now we have these. We have a 2v2 going on here, right? Looks like they already have their weapons, so it looks like we might not have the shining weapon thing that we have in the game. I don't know how the comic's gonna deal with it. But yeah, they're squaring up and everything. That's cool. And now we go up to the Spectator Box because this is where Thor and Kor are commentating like, yeah, let's go Brawlhalla. This is really funny to me that Thor is actually a commentator here because in the lore, Thor is like the commentators. One of them is named Bob and the other one is named something. We don't know their name. It's kind of like, is Thor supposed to be in this match? I don't know, Bob. He just kind of like jumped off the bleachers and just like joined in. And now Thor is like, it's kind of like, imagine Foda, right? Foda is one of the top dev commentators for Brawlhalla. Foda used to be a top Brawlhalla player, like back in 2014, 15, 16 or whatever. Then about 2016, 2017, I think, somewhere around there, he was hired by Blue Mammoth Games to be like the esports, to help with esports and everything. So I can see a similar thing happening here where Thor loves joining in, but not because he knows the game so well. He's commentating, and then Kor it makes sense for Kor to be there because Kor is just kind of like a fun like side commentator or whatever. But Kor also, he's a platform mover. He's the platform mover at Blackguard Keep, the left platform mover. So Kor is also very familiar with the game, with the fights as well. If I were to say who is who, I would say Thor is definitely he's the energy. I would imagine Thor is very much the energy and like the play-by-play, like, oh my gosh, going for a side sig and like recovery, blah, 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 blah. And then Kor, maybe I like to imagine Kor being more like reserved and everything, but like comparatively reserved, but also joining in on the hype and giving like color commentary here and there. That's the dynamic I imagine. Anyway, moving on. All right. So the battle starts. Like these characters just look so cool. With these like more human proportions. It's so awesome. Yeah, they're jumping into the fight. There we go. All right. So here Nyx doing this really awesome like slide. Nash coming in, coming in for the kill. Oh wow, we get like one frame of them like smash of yeah, Nash is bashing Nyx with a hammer. Boom. Oh my gosh. So I love it when it's just like there's just like one frame things just like this, right? Because it all comes together like this. Yeah, it's a blink and you miss it type thing, right? It just kind of like adds to the impact. Just the exaggeration is fantastic. Boom. Ooh, just like shot like a bullet across the stage. That's insane. Yeah. So that seems to me like a good teaser of like the kind of energy to expect from this. Anyway, Nyx gets knocked back. Not kind of like, ugh, come on. I can't quite tell who's like back here either. Like it's too blurry for me to see. But anyway, yeah. Nyx taking a moment to recover here, and then here we have Caspian once again doing his twirls and his I think Qatar down sig. Where yep, he's throwing down that Qatar down sig there. That's such a cool image of Caspian. Gosh, that's so cool. Nyx dodging them. Oh, they were like there's like little explosions. Look at that. There's like a little card shape kind of thing coming out from there. You see that? Love the little details. Anyway, yeah, there's like little explosives attached to the Qatars there. Nyx jumps in. Okay, and now she's clashing with Caspian. Really cool freeze frames here. Something happens here. I can't remember every little. Okay, yeah, just more like chaos of battle. Looks like we're in a different arena or something now. Just kind of like it was just a transition to like a different arena where we have Fate now on her. Okay, this is interesting. I did not notice that. So when you do Fate's orb side sig, she's just riding like a star, like a made of energy or something. I don't know, but but it looks like it's an actual like object. Oh yeah, it's made like her orb is it's her orb in the middle. That is her orb, and it's creating this like star of magic around it. I don't think you see the orb in the actual signature in the game. So they kind of like explain a little bit like how it works. Like the orb creates this kind of force field that she stands on. That's really cool. Fate looking awesome as always. I love Fate's design. She looks really cool. She zooms by, and she goes up and is about to hit Bryn. Here's a good meme format, like pathetic, right? Anyway, she's about to hit Bryn, but then I love this moment here. This moment with the scythe hook, because that's definitely how scythes work in the game, right? Scythes are very much used to like hook people and trip them and to make combos. And so all of a sudden Fate is like, what's happening? What's going on? And then is pulled down from the sky by Nyx with her scythe. Oh, those smear frames. Oh, those smear frames are awesome. The scythe and Fate are like combined in the smear here. It's only like a couple of frames, but it's just kind of funny. Anyway, yeah, spins Fate around and flings her back up. That's cool. Just like really crazy stuff. And then Bryn comes in for a team combo. Boom! With the axe. Oh, that's good. That's so cool. Boom. And I think this is another transition. Probably to another arena of some kind. It looks like we're going from arena to arena. Okay. Once again, we have Nyx and Bryn teaming up here. Back to back. Okay, here we go. They are caught in Cassidy's tornado move, which, by the way, Lin Fei was the one who taught Cassidy the tornado. So there you go. So I guess that's why they're in this kind of this formation here. So yeah, there's just like these various moments of in the midst of Kathy's tornado, Bryn facing off against Domo, which is the name of this beetle that Arcadia is riding. Arcadia looking awesome here with all the like fairy magic and everything. Just kind of like, you know, like this is like a montage. We have Nyx against Dusk and Magyar. So Dusk is riding the Magyar, this wave of souls from Magyar. You can hardly tell it's Magyar, but first of all, this is of course Magyar's greatsword. And if you look down at the bottom, you can see that it's the armor that the souls are like. The souls are escaping the armor and preparing for a big attack for Dusk to kind of like help follow up with. Essentially, that's really cool. So yeah, once again, Bryn and Nyx. So this whole time there's been this theme of Bryn and Nyx like taking everybody on or whatever. It sounds like this might be some kind of like tournament arc sort of a story. Maybe. Okay. I love this. This is Mako, like, you know, kind of like scaring or like surprising Nyx or something. This is a really good image. Just the expressions are wonderful. Here is Sidra trying to slam on Nyx and Bryn with the anchor, right? Sidra's looking very pleased with herself. And here we have, oh my gosh, how did I miss this? Just watching it. This is Hugin and Moonin, right? Hugin over here, Moonin over here. Moonin's the one with glasses. About to go in for a team combo, and Nyx trying to counter it. Maybe Bryn is trying to recover from something. And I don't know if this mount has a name. It probably does. I don't recognize this, but this is there's a plushie mount that comes with the Nyx plushie, the plushie sidekick that comes with the Nyx plushie, and I think it's a reference to this, whatever this is right here, this bone dragon thing. But yeah, and there you go. Interesting that so Cross features very prominently here. All right, so I'm gonna, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna finish this off by explaining what I think are some of the big moments. Yeah, I need to leave in just a few minutes anyway. So, actually, let me go over to the cover here. Yeah, this cover right here. So, yeah, clearly this takes place in in Nyx's lore. It says so. So if you read Nyx's lore and Queen Nai's lore, you get this narrative of how Queen Nai was the queen of an Aztecan queen basically, and her civilization was destroyed in the battle. However, she was able to preserve 11 gods from the Aztecan pantheon and absorb them into herself, and then fled, and she eventually ended up in Valhalla. Well, Nyx was the one who was supposed to take those Aztecan gods and carry them over to their appropriate afterlife, but she missed them. That is the reason. And so Nyx has been like this whole time. This is officially in the lore. You can read it in the game right now. Nyx is in Valhalla because she's looking for her Quetzalcoatl quarry. She's looking for these Aztecan gods or whatever they are. I'm assuming it's Aztecan because Quetzalcoatl, whatever. So it's interesting that Nyx has a feather here, because if we're talking about a Quetzalcoatl quarry, if this comic uses that same narrative thread that was hinted at in the lore years ago, then that's probably why Nyx is in Valhalla. Nyx had a job to do to take the Aztecan pantheon and, you know, carry them to their next life or whatever, but it got fumbled that job got fumbled because at least in the lore, Queen Nai was able to take 11 of those gods with herself, and a Valkyrie invited Queen Nai to Valhalla. And we don't know if that Valkyrie was Bryn or somebody else, but some rogue Valkyrie somewhere, probably Bryn, invited Queen Nai to Valhalla, and that's why Nyx missed the job, missed the Reaper job. So if they're using that, that's probably where this feather comes from, probably from that Quetzalcoatl quarry. All right, like a feather dropped from either Queen Nai or something like that. Although this does have kind of like a space look to it. It doesn't look like anything from Artemis though, because there's nothing about Artemis that's like that would produce feathers. So I think this is a reference to Nyx. I think. However, we don't see I think this feather is a reference to Queen Nai, and then Bryn is like, oh no, oh my gosh, let me help you or whatever or something. I don't know exactly what's going on. But apparently, the stakes are high for Nyx because it sounds like her soul is at stake. That's something new. Now, here's something else interesting. What is Cross doing here? We don't see Cross anywhere in the trailer, but with Cross being so prominent, it seems like he's going to feature pretty prominently in this story. Now, there is something. There is something else in the lore. All right. Once again, Thor. What am I doing? I need my theorizing hat. So here's my theory. Okay. Here's my theory. Let me go over to Nyx's lore specifically so you can see this real quickly. All right. So this is brawlhalla.com/Nyx. And this kind of talks about disaster struck when she took a job collecting an entire pantheon whose time had come when the dust settled. 11 of the targets were missing, 11 gods. Nyx was not a type to miss a mark, and professional pride put her on a 1,000-year hunt that led her finally to Valhalla. There we go. That is probably where the comic, the graphic novel, picks up. Now, what does Cross do? Now, where's the reference to Cross? Well, it's actually here in this lore, right here. Nyx. So while Nyx is here, Valhalla, Odin's warrior heaven, is home to all sorts of metaphysical rule breakers and rogue souls. Nyx sees an opportunity to turn a nice profit, closing a few cosmological cold cases, such as Bodvar, who entered Valhalla without dying, that smug mobster, who is supposed to be basically in some kind of hell because of a deal with a demon, but because of a loophole, crosses in Valhalla instead of in hell, and maybe even the Golden Knight, Orion. In the meantime, she fights in the Grand Tournament, knowing her Quetzalcoatl quarry must be here somewhere. So, these are the ideas that I think are being explored by this comic. However, I think that the idea of like Nyx's soul being at stake is new. We don't get any of that from the lore, so that is interesting. And the fact that Cross is here smiling and looking very smug here, it sounds like I think Cross is going to be a major villain here. Cross is just like a human, but he's a human who is basically in control of a demon. He like that coin, that double-headed coin. There's a demon inside of it, and basically the loophole is that Cross's soul will be claimed by the demon after Cross's last battle. Okay, the idea was that after Cross died, that he would be done fighting and the demon would take his soul. But the fact that Cross was invited to Valhalla, he gets to keep fighting, which means the demon can't claim Cross's soul yet. So, I don't know exactly how that will make him an antagonist here. Maybe he'll be an ally. I'm not sure. But I would like to think I've always wanted this exploration of Nyx and Queen Nai. Or Nyx kind of like Nyx is just a cool character, and she's in Valhalla because of professional integrity. And so I think this is a really cool. I think there's going to be a lot of details here that they're going to add some really cool context to this. So this story, as far as I can tell, is very much based on lore that we already know, but they're going to expand on it, and they're going to sort of heighten the stakes, it sounds like. I'm very interested to see what kind of conclusion they come here, because, if Nyx gets her quarry, does that mean that this is a different canon from like the game or something? I don't know. I'm not going to think too much about that or whatever. But I'm going to conclude this video with this thought. Okay. Anyway, I shared my theory about what this comic's going to be about. We have until June to read it, and you better believe I'm going to be ordering this thing. And I'm going to be reading it. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about it. I'll have to ask the devs about how they feel about like readings on stream or on a stream or video or something, because you have to pay $20 for this book. But anyway, so excited for this. Neat little thing. So in BCX 2022, 2 years ago, I was in a panel, a lore panel. I was basically the moderator for it, and Matt Woomer was one of the people. There were two people from the Brawlhalla lore team. Matt Woomer is the lead of the lore team. Matt Woomer is the narrative lead for this web comic. For this graphic novel. And there was one time, I asked a bunch of, we had a really fun discussion about how the lore is developed in Brawlhalla and stuff like that. It was really cool. I learned a lot. It was a really great experience. There was one moment though. I never really mentioned this in public because I didn't feel like I was supposed to talk about it. There's one like little mention, a little moment where Matt Woomer, I forget what we were talking about, but he said something about the comic or whatever. In the 2022 lore panel, he said, it's something we're thinking about with something we're thinking about with the comic, or he mentioned a comic or a graphic novel, and it was just kind of this moment of like, what? I could tell right away that he wasn't, that was like a slip of the tongue, like he wasn't supposed to like say that, he wasn't supposed to reveal that. So I just moved on, and I've never said anything since about that moment. So technically, Matt Wimmer did accidentally say back in the lore panel in 2022 that there was a that there was a comic book coming, but I didn't want to ruin anything. I didn't want to heighten that mistake or anything. It just seemed like, anyway, clearly he didn't mean to say that. Now we know. The comic book is real, everybody. And it's coming next year. Super stoked about that. Oh, sorry. One final thing. So I was mentioned in the stream when this was announced, right?
Feel about it, dude.
I'm right next to you. As you said, it has been a labor of love. Me personally, as a big fan of kind of the storylines and the characters, I'm really excited to see the community engage with it. I really want to see what Barendipitous has to say, because of course, every time you get to expand these characters, expand their interactions with each other and how they get to talk and how they get to have these experiences, then you get to kind of feel more for these characters. And it's really, really cool that we're starting off with Nyx. We're starting off, you can obviously see, we saw Bryn and Cross in the story. It's going to be really cool to see the community engage with this story.
Yeah, so what Duke said, if you didn't hear it, he said, I'm really excited. He was especially excited about how the community is going to interact with this graphic novel. He said specifically that he was excited to see how I, Baron, would react to it. And he also talked about how when you have these opportunities to interact with the characters, you get to feel more for them. And I love that, and I'm so happy that we get that. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, all the best.